Hello Taurus, welcome to your February 2025 reading. I hope everybody's doing great. So good to see you. Let's get started here. First and foremost, you'll notice a change in the backdrop. That is because I'm traveling. It may change a few times. Thanks for your flexibility there. Let's get straight into your channeled messages. So this morning as I tuned into your sign, what I kept seeing, it was actually two symbols. One was an anchor, like you would see on a ship, and the other one was the satchel that the Fool carries. And they are kind of two opposing forces. The Fool is saying you don't need all of that baggage in your life. And sometimes by just cutting the cords and walking in a new direction, it can be very liberating. It can open you up to receive new things. And that was the first encouragement. But the anchor piece, I think, is really what we want to focus on here in the channeled messages. There are so many things that could constitute an anchor in your life. Sometimes we are anchored in purpose, and that's a good thing. But sometimes we're anchored because of guilt or regret or uncertainty. Sometimes people say, oh, you can't leave me, you have to stay. But is that really where you want to be? And this month is a chance to ask yourself the question, does this serve the higher good in my life and even in that other person's life? Is there a better path in front of me, or am I tracking exactly where I need to? If and where you find those anchors, release them. It's like cord cutting. And this is a great time also to declutter and create space. The decluttering isn't just the things around us. It can also be the activities that we go to, all of the things that we're investing our time and energy into. People, places, and things. Really do an internal audit and think, does it pan out in the big picture of things? And this is going to help liberate you, open you up, and create space to receive the abundance in this new year. All right, let's go ahead and get started and see what the cards have to say. Please close your eyes and let's call in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters. See yourself on the beach, carve a circle in the sand around your body, and connect with the sun, which is shining directly overhead. This is going to protect you. It's also going to allow you to stay focused throughout the reading. Okay, let's begin. I'm using a travel deck here, so yes, they're a little bit smaller, but there's a reason. So it'll fit in my suitcase. Let's get started here with your Catalyst card. It came through in the reverse position, and it's really interesting because I think this very nicely aligns with the Hanged Man. So just a reminder, Hanged Man was in your crowning position. If we put the cards side by side, they're both hanging upside down. Let's talk about how this connects to you today. So in a Hanged Man card, you are basically being encouraged to look at something from a new perspective. And it can be frustrating sometimes because we don't always want to pause. We don't always want to be patient. But when we do, it can help us accomplish some of these things. The solitude piece also connects over here to the Hermit card. So we have solitude and perspective coming through as things that you could focus on to really create growth this month. You may also be seeking space. We were talking about the anchors. So there might be too many people, places, or things around you right now that are kind of like zapping out your time and energy. And so this is a time to be a little bit more discerning. You don't have to say yes to everyone. You don't have to go everywhere all the time. By being really mindful of where you invest your most valuable resource, which is your time and your affection and your love, then you're going to have more energy to put into the things that matter most. And I think that's the main takeaway here on this one. And so I like that it's a bear too, because sometimes you just have to speak up. You have to push and say, no, this isn't the right thing. So don't be afraid to use your voice, to stand your ground, and to, again, release some of those anchors that might be in your life. So let's just scan the cards overall and see what's going on here. These are for the expanded forecast, by the way. I'm just doing something different this month since I'm traveling. All right, so actually most of these are very, very good. The biggest challenge comes in the card that represents yourself, but your own self-worth doesn't represent the worth that I'm seeing here. It's like Eight of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles are very valuable cards, and I think the challenge is recalibrating and saying I'm worth it. Same thing with the Knight of Pentacles in the deep past. So it feels like one of the biggest opportunities this month is just in seeing, recognizing, and sometimes even standing up for your worth. All right, let's go to your center card here. We have King of Wands coming through. This is a really positive energy to start things off with, I have to say. King of Wands is the very top of the heap when it comes to your ability to innovate, to lead other people. Also, not just innovation, but also inspiration. All of these things are coming through. Passion as well. All that you need to do in order to access this is believe. Because when we look at the card that represents you, it's Five of Pentacles, which sometimes is underestimating or second-guessing your own worth. So don't do that. You're coming through really, really great at the center here. This is a month to speak up, step into a leadership position, also lead the way. You know, in the Six of Wands, a lot of times you just see a person on a horse with nobody around them because somebody has to take that initial step and be bold and be different. So guess what, Taurus? This is a month for you to be bold and to be different. Don't second guess your abilities. They are very, very valuable and they're coming through loud and clear. So on top of this, we have some really great energy here with the Eight of Pentacles, and it's connecting you to Hermit and Lover's energy. So people are receptive, but you have to believe. And then we see the wisdom here coming through with the Hermit. So what do you need to do? For some of you, it's just put it into writing. Eight of Pentacles can simply be the act of sketching it out, drawing it out, drafting a contract or an idea. For some of you, you may also want to do a little bit of research to make sure that you've covered all your bases, that you understand, what the competition is doing, if this is a business thing, or again, just kind of getting that sense of confidence, because for one reason or another, there's a little bit of doubt here, but it doesn't need to be here. So I think once you look around, do the research, Google a little bit, you're going to see that you're closer than you think to your goal, and you're going to be able to take the first step. If you want to lean into education this month, Eight of Pentacles is a great card for learning. This is also an apprenticeship card, so internships doesn't have to just be school. It can be any kind of training or expansion. Also with the Eight of Pentacles is just rolling up your sleeves and doing something that you love. This is why I want you to free up your resources when it comes to time, energy, and money, because when you're very clear on what it is that you want to do and you go into it 100%, that King of Wands energy at the center really starts to light up. All right, let's see karmically what you've been working with in the deep past year. You've done the work. I can't always say that. I'm a very honest reader, so if you needed more work in a certain area, I would say you need to focus on this. But really, when it comes to, especially for some of you, whether it is education or training or getting that knowledge, it's there. So the only area of opportunity is confidence. I think we can work with that for the most part. As I'm looking at this spread, it's pretty good. Confidence and not being impatient. So the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the fact that it's in the deep past could indicate that you're sitting on something, a decision, an idea, an investment, a project. Now is the time to execute. Even though we have King of Wands is interesting because he's still a leader card. He shows what he wants to do. He doesn't always articulate it. So that might even be easier for some of you that think, Nicholas, I'm not a born leader, or I don't know how to kind of put it into words. You don't. You just have to put it into action this month. Those speak just as loud as the words. And by the way, you don't have to be perfect in how you articulate things. It's the authenticity, it's the passion, it's the energy that you bring forth that really is drawing people into your life. So you've done the work, you have the worth, it's coming through here as well, but this is the challenge. All right, Hermit. So for some of you, this is connecting a little bit with what we were talking about with the panda bear. So some of you want to have the solitude, the tranquility, the contentment, because you're like, I'm good. Maybe you've gone through a really sort of significant moment at work or school, or you just got out of a relationship, and now is a time where you're leaning into self-discovery. The Hermit energy is saying, That's a perfect thing to put your time into. Also, the Hermit was connected to the Eight of Pentacles, so anything that you invest your time and energy into when it comes to learning really pays off. This is basically, at the end of the day, expertise. So I just feel like finish what you started here. It's really something great. And if you're feeling like you're an outsider, you don't have to be, because the interesting thing here is we have the Lovers. So if you've been comfortable in the past, so this solitude message could cut two ways. Some of you may have simply been really comfortable with your own company and you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can, because we actually have multiple partnership cards coming through. We have the divine partnership here of the King and the Queen of Wands. Then we have the Lovers. And what people are attracted to is your wisdom, your knowledge, your confidence if you're working on that. And all you have to do is be patient in the mix of all of this. Hermit is also an educational and a spiritual card. So for those of you that are really interested in going deeper into your own spiritual path, whether it's a traditional path or something new age, absolutely, that's perfectly in alignment. The Crowning card, possibly one of the trickier cards in this spread. Most of them are just fabulous. So many like court cards and major arcana. This is a big month for you, Taurus. But let's talk about the Hangman. So it is upright, and it's saying you're exactly where you need to be at this moment. What matters next is the decision that you want something, and then like when you're going to take that step, because you've done the work, but you're waiting. You're waiting for something. And for some of you, if I'm looking at what it is, it could be for partnership or approval, because we have the Lovers here. But before we stop with the Hanged Man, a couple of things here. Don't rush. If you're doing anything, it's worth doing right the first time. If you feel stuck, look at it from a different perspective. Get an outside perspective, someone that you trust and love to help you see it. You don't have to do it alone. Notice how on the Lovers, there are multiple forms of support. We have the angel itself, the union here, the two of you can lean on each other, but also the other person. So there's a lot of great energy coming through with respect to not having to shoulder this burden all on your own, or not having to take this next step with this feeling of uncertainty. Even if the first few steps you don't have the validation, I see it in the cards. The validation is in the cards. So I don't know what's holding some of you back right now, but I can tell you that a lot of it is, it's built up. It's built up from fears, anxiety, or perhaps even someone else's projections, but it doesn't have to be there anymore. This is very much a game-changing month for you if you're ready and willing to take the step, because you've done the work. It's just taking the step and making it happen. All right. Now we got to talk about this one. So we have Five of Pentacles coming through. Typically, you would see a person in the snow on crutches with another person that isn't really helping them, and they're in front of a shelter. And what it represents is this feeling of being on the outside, maybe not getting the support that you need with people that you love. And it's just generally a wanting or a needing card. So what it represents in your past can be a person that you depended on that just didn't come through. It can also be how hard you can be on yourself because of a perceived failure. So in this card, we have a little crocus, I think it is, that is broken, but it's still alive. It's just the flower that's still going to grow, and it can always bloom again. And so sometimes we get our hope smashed, right, a little bit. I really do feel like that's what happened to some of you, because it didn't end the way you wanted it to end up. But that's one chapter. It's not the end of the book. And now is a chance to turn a new leaf. And I actually see the crocus as a very hopeful symbol. It represents the ability to push through a period where there's not enough, and things are going to get better. The next card in the suit is the balanced Six of Pentacles. So take care of yourself this month. Don't work yourself to exhaustion. That is why I think it was so important earlier to talk a little bit about discernment and choices when it comes to time and energy and how you're spending it, okay? Because that can help you from getting sick, and also just give you more of what you need to get this, King of Wands in action. So in the environment, we see possibly help or a like-minded individual coming through, Queen of Wands. It can also just be an aspect of your personality. What I like about her is she thinks way outside of the box. She can find a way when no one else can. And usually there's a black cat in front of her, which is intuition, but also like 9 lives. So what I was talking about here really holds true. It may not have worked before, but it can work now. And yes, you can do it with a partnership because, as we look at this spread, the king and the queen are partnering up, and we definitely have a partnership card right in the mix of all of this. And again, I feel someone's drawn to you this time around because of the hard work, the wisdom, hopefully the patience that you've learned, and they can see the value even if you can't. But, I mean, there's a warning here as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. Don't let someone take advantage of low self-esteem, because then that's when you sometimes end up doing more than you should without getting paid enough, or in a relationship where the other party isn't giving what you're giving, so you're worth it. And that's what we see here in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Now is a chance for you to break through and get what it is, whatever it is that you want. There could be a new job opportunity. There could be love. By the way, this Queen of Wands, this Ace of Pentacles, and this Lover's card all work together. What an ace represents in a love spread is commitment. And it's not so much desire. It's like, this is what I want. There's a certainty and a grounding to it. Passion is more in the Wands suit, but this is like an offer. So there could be an offer in love, like let's take it, make it exclusive, let's get married. There could be a contract in business, I want to hire you. There could be a new friendship coming through, I want to spend more time with you. But it's because they see worth and value. You're worth it is why they want it. It's not just like lust or passion, which would more be in the Wands or Cups. It's more like, no, you're worth it. I really want to do this. So hopefully that gives you the confidence building that you need. And then in the outcome here, we have the Sun. So this is a wonderful card to end on. It's arguably one of the best major arcana cards. The sky is the limit with this card. But what you have to do is begin. So I like that they actually chose to put a little child on it. Usually it's a baby. I would have preferred if it was a baby, but we'll take the boy. So this is birthing, creating, and stepping into newness. And sometimes that's hard when things are very predictable and you may be afraid or uncertain of what the outcome will be if you take a change or shift or a fork in the road. But think of how powerful the sun is in our solar system. Everything rotates around it. So for those of you that are used to constantly like shifting, bending, and doing everything for everyone else, like having to sort of like satiate their needs, this is a chance for you to speak up and articulate what your needs are. And in doing so in a confident way, you can actually accomplish what it is you set out to do. The Sun card is also a love card. In some of the decks, let me think of them right now, like Morgan Greer, for instance, you would see lovers on this. So we have love here, we have love here, we have love here, and we have commitment here. It's a great time to make connections, to make commitments, to get things signed on the dotted line. So that's something to celebrate. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. As we take a look at the card representing health, we have 6 of Pentacles, and this is really all about balance. So it's a little different and a little harder to see in this illustration, but the 6 of Pentacles is about achieving balance in your life. And so let me pull up a helper card just to kind of show what's going on here. So in the Lightseers deck, you can actually see some of this. It's discernment that creates balance. So when it comes to your health, how you choose to spend time and energy, as we talked about a little bit earlier, is going to be ever so important. In other words, say no, have boundaries. Really choose to also put yourself first sometimes so that you get what you need, okay? That's going to help you ease out of this energy of feeling like, I can't do it. By the way, that 5 of Pentacles, also a beautiful card in the Lightseers deck. What I love about this is you have the key to open the door to more potential. That more potential is in this, or that additional potential is in this card. And it all comes through saying no. Who would have thought, right? But sometimes we create this feeling of like, I haven't had it before, so I never can have it. And that's one of the things that I hope you can break through this month. We're really looking at emotional things and also just energy expenditures. That's the main message coming through in that main card here. But now let's go ahead, look at the rest of the cards and see what else might be coming through from a health perspective. Just to slow down. So your crowning card here with the Hanged Man is saying take care of yourself, take some time. There's no rush. And even if there is a rush, sometimes it's manufactured. One of the number one things that I don't miss about working in a traditional corporate job is deadlines that didn't ever make sense from the beginning. They were just put on a board, and because they got approved, we had to do them, even if something wasn't ready to be completed or shipped or shared with someone. So in your own life, try not to create those sorts of things. You're always allowed to change your mind. You can always take a step back. It's really important not to push yourself to exhaustion, okay? And that's why earlier we had this beautiful panda card here, again, representing a need for solitude, tranquility, and contentment. And we can also combine that with the hermit. So I do feel like for many of you, it's just a month where if you can create the space to meditate, to maybe even do something for yourself, the educational card, so take a class, just do something just for you. That would be so essential at building up your, not just your confidence, but your energy. You're going to feel better because you finally gave back to you. It can't all be give. You also have to take a little bit. You also have to give to yourself. And so make sure you're giving to yourself as much as you give to others. All right? Other things coming through. This can represent a cold or flu when we have the Five of Pentacles. So you want to, that's one of the reasons I'm asking you to pace yourself. This is not a time where you want to be sick, particularly if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. There's a lot of different strains of cold and flu going on. You want to be mindful of that. Also, this could just be, for some of you, a pre-existing injury, oftentimes in the lower extremities, like below the knee. So foot, ankle, and that lower part of the leg. So just be careful if you've ever broken any bones. They also may just be hurting a little bit when the weather's damp or cold. So this is a time, again, to not push it. And because many of you are in inclement weather, you want to be mindful of slippery roads, etc. So put your phone in your pocket, focus on where you're walking. Don't slip or do anything of that nature. Let's see. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I like that we actually have a card here saying get out into the sun a little bit. So for those of you that tend to be a hermit, work inside all day, or in an office all day, it's showing you the importance of, getting out into nature, getting outside, just changing the environment a little bit can be so effective in general health and well-being. And then the Hanged Man also has a little bit of sensitivity with the foot and the ankle, especially if you look at where this person is kind of like hanging from. Also, all of this just reminds me of anchoring. So if there's anything where there's too much pressure or it just feels like an obligation and that's the only reason you're doing it, this is the month to liberate yourself and basically say enough is enough. But by and large, I quite like what I see here. Create better balance, say no when necessary, make sure that you're getting what you put into something, and that is going to open you up to receive more, which is nicely connected to the wealth category here. So we're going to look at resources, life purpose, and career. And we have a really important card here, the Eight of Cups. With the Eight of Cups, you can either make or break a cycle, and on this particular deck, they're showing the ability to break it. So if there's something that doesn't serve you, we've been talking about this is a great time to say enough is enough. And I think it's more important to look at a traditional, or at least somewhat traditional card here. One of the ways that you make a decision is by creating space in your life. So in the traditional Eight of Cups, a person walks away from those 8 cups. There's a little bit of space to return, and that gives you clarity, objectivity, and also the information. We had so many cards here connected with like research and knowledge. So take a step back, read, speak with other people, sit with it for a second, sit with it while you're no longer like around it. So this is like a vacation, a sabbatical, or just, 10 to 15 minutes out of the environment. Something to separate you from the distractions and the anchors of the space. That's going to help you make your decision. So if you're thinking of going in a new direction, okay, good. And we had an Ace of Pentacles showing that it's probably great, but get to a space where you're confident, because the one thing this month that might be lacking just a bit is that confidence in the Five of Pentacles. So I want to help you get there, okay? This also, because we're looking at wealth, can represent an ability to go back and pick up something that you didn't finish in the past. And I mentioned for some of you that you might be sitting on something. Now is the time where this is going to really come to fruition. And I do feel like for those of you, we're going to break this down into categories in a second, but if you are looking to launch something, you could hire someone, you could find someone. Partnership is definitely in the mix when we're looking at career, okay? This is also a second chances card. So if something didn't work before and your heart was broken, this time around, you're going to be older, wiser, and more prepared for it to work out, okay? Let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper into the different subsections of wealth. Let me take my little travel deck here. We're gonna shuffle the cards and take a look at all the different employment types. All right, so we will cover those of you that are already employed. Then we're gonna look at those of you that own your own business. Then we're going to focus on job seekers, followed by students, and finally, retirees. All right, we're going to take it card by card. We'll start off first with those that are currently employed, the Chariot card coming through. Well, first and foremost, if you want to step into a leadership position or do a little bit more with management, it's quite possible. These are two of the ultimate boss cards in the Minor Arcana, the King and the Queen of Wands. And again, I feel like your success this month isn't in being the sole leader, but in partnering with others, and possibly even your ability to get people behind your vision. So this can also be customers, clients, people in your life. So this is why the Chariot's coming through. Also, the Chariot is pulling the reins on those two horses to make sure that they're going in the same direction, not separate directions. So one thing that can help you right now is to get very clear on your career goals. The clearer you are, the easier it's going to be to recognize synchronicities when they come through, but also the easier it is for other people to be there for you, okay? Organization, management, and control. Those are the main themes this month. And if I just briefly look at the spread too, it's great. I mean, it's literally coming up aces here with possibilities. And we have one of the best cards for like shining here. The only thing is this. Confidence. So once you work past the confidence or maybe a pre-existing gap, like there could be a pay gap due to either maybe there's biases there, like because of gender or age or something else. And you're going to stand up for yourself if you want to this month, and you could get what you deserve. I like that. I think the most important thing is if you are going to go about that, then Eight of Pentacles is saying get it all in writing and stick to the facts. That's going to help you quite a bit. Okay, it's a good month overall, and I feel like you're treading in the right direction for those that have a current job. The only challenge is possibly two bosses with two different points of view, or a lack of leadership where you can kind of step into that leadership position. You may also feel like you're not going anywhere fast because the Hanged Man is sometimes like, I want to be here, but I'm still stuck in this position at this space. In which case, again, articulate what your desire is. All right, let's move on to those of you that own your own company or are an entrepreneur. We have the 10 of Cups. This is fantastic. The most valuable thing this month is customer loyalty, good word of mouth, good connections. I feel like you can make a lot happen if you leverage those parts of your life, parts of your business in particular. So places where the 10 of Cups is showing up. Again, it could be the people that you're working with or your business partner. It could be the great ideas also coming from that partnership. With this 10 of Cups comes the potential for more great things. The only challenge this month is this. So again, with the 5 of Pentacles, there may be either you're pushed to undercut your price because of laws, regulations, taxes, or competition, or you feel like you have no other choice to do so. What I'd like you to try to do instead of undercutting that, because that's not a sustainable model, is to see if there's other things that you can streamline or reduce and really fight for the value of your products or services. So less but more. And when I say less but more, I mean putting more energy into a fewer amount of things so that the quality overall is better and you have more energy. A great example is when Steve Jobs came back to Apple after they purchased Next, and he streamlined the products into like 3 or 4 lines. Now they've gotten massive again, and it feels like they need to streamline again. It's easier for customers, it's easier for you. Other things that you might be focusing on if you have your own business. I think it's important to invest, and especially if you've done well. This is basically taking these earnings and investing wisely in new technology and new ideas and new people, staffing, Again, you can pause and do your research, but it does feel like it's a good time to move forward. But you got to get the bottom line in the right place. So once you get the profitability there, and I do feel like it has to do with the price point, and sometimes we don't have a choice because of competition, regulation, or extra inventory or something. This is a time to get creative when it comes to that, and don't get in a habit of always putting things on sale or always selling under price. Okay, very specific, but that's what I got for those who have their own company. All right, let's move on to job seekers. Your biggest challenge this month is clarity. Sometimes you'll read a job description and you're like, what is this job really? Maybe they don't know. Come in with insightful questions. Make sure that you don't gloss over something that is vague, either in the contract, the job description, or even as you have a conversation. Maybe you're also at that moment where you're thinking, what do I want to do next? Who am I? So a soul-searching moment is just fine. This is a month where you're going to figure that out. And what we got here was mentorship with the Hermit, doing a little bit of research with the Eight of Pentacles. Again, maybe talking to a couple of people, maybe connecting with someone that can help you find a job, a headhunter or a job service. And then it could even be a place that you've already worked because of the Eight of Cups. The main thing here, again, is if you don't understand, ask. This is a very inquisitive card. Also, when you're doing the job application process, try not to throw your resume out to too many places too fast. Again, a little bit more targeted, less is more, and when you're really putting your time and energy in fewer applications, you might have a better chance because it's just more focused overall. Can you find something? I know that's what you care about. Yes. It could take a little bit beyond the month. Eight of Cups means that it could take up to 8 weeks, but it could also require a business trip. And it could be somewhere else. You might have to travel for this as well. But these three cards portend good things. We're getting a lot of management energy, so it might be time to step up if that's something that you want. The only thing to be mindful of is this Five of Pentacles card, which again is representing something that is undercutting your value in this case. So don't accept less than you're worth, suffice it to say. Moving on to students, we have the Ace of Swords coming through. This is a great card. Of course, it's connected with communication, but it's also action. So there's a little bit of a nudge from the universe to act on your goals and aspirations. There's also an encouragement to focus on communication, either getting things in writing, maybe working on your presentation skills, learning a new language. All of these things are coming through. Aces also just represent the ability to make things happen. And you got two aces because, it's coming through here in the school area, but also here in whatever your goal is that you're trying to do, you can accomplish it. So we have action and results both coming through. Very, very nice. Again, self-care is going to be important for everybody working or everybody studying, everyone in general. Don't burn yourself out this month. I love the student life opportunities coming through with the lovers here. So get out and mix and mingle. The relationships and the network that you create now, it's going to help you all through life. Don't rush through things. There may be a temptation to just double up on your course load or skip a semester or something. This is just saying enjoy each and every moment. Try not to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. You're in a good space overall. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to focus on. No, I think that's it. I just really like what you've been doing, so continue to do that. There also may be, for some of you, a desire to travel abroad. This card is often associated with that. Sabbaticals, travel, vacations. If you're thinking of taking a break, it doesn't seem like it's going to be forever, ever. It seems like you're going to come back and finish what you started, which again is what I'm getting with this Ace of Swords. All right, hidden off camera here, we have the note for those of you that are retired. Some of you are just done with a person, place, or thing. The Ten of Swords doesn't have to be chronic pain or fatigue, although it can be. It could simply be that some of you are on the heels of a breakup, or you got your feelings hurt with somebody, or you're just ready for something, you burned out. So it can just be those things, emotional fatigue or energetic, just sort of like you're completely done with something. So I'm normalizing that if you feel it. Take care of yourself. If you haven't gotten a massage or, just done something for the pure sort of like self-love of it, this is the time to do it. That includes, as we look at this, spending time with people that you love. Some of you have been a hermit for too long, and this card is saying, I know it's scary, but now is a great time to get out there. Your networking capacity right now is pretty high. So whether it's friends, new colleagues, new connections, whatever it is that you want to do, going back to school and auditing a class, all of these sorts of things are coming forth. Ultimately, the month is going to end on a better note than it may have started for some of you. So don't give up. If nothing else, I'm trying to give you the encouragement that this isn't as bleak as it seems. And if you look at the 10 of Swords, there's always a new day that's dawning in the background. So you see that? So I feel like you've been through something, or you're just kind of at a point where you're thinking, I don't know what I want to do next. And this is a reminder that it's not over. That was just, again, one chapter closing. But what you do want to be mindful of this month is your health. If you are sick for any reason, don't rough it out. Don't tough it out. Go to the doctor if you need antibiotics or if you just feel like this is taking longer than it should. Even though that's a bit of a health message, it's coming through here because health and wealth are very closely connected. If you don't have health, it doesn't matter what else is going on. Okay, so we're going to expand to the next category here, which is love. I forgot to put the graphic up. I have to say this is a really unique illustration for the Six of Cups. Instead of focusing on the inner child, instead of focusing on two people, it's focusing on the different things that you bring in relationships to make them strong, to make them amazing. So here we have maybe one party that is very grounded, and then we have another one that is very sort of active and out there. And neither one is better or worse. 6 is a harmonious number, and we can see here that there's something that both of you bring to the equation. The traditional or somewhat traditional illustration here, the Six of Cups, usually shows two children. This one chose to show like the inner child. So I think that there's a little bit of inner child healing to be done this month, especially because we had the Five of Pentacles. I also think that there's an ability to go deeper into a relationship and appreciate that you aren't identical. I mean, you wouldn't want that, but you're bringing complementary energies this month. Just all relationships across the board can benefit from understanding that there is, again, it's very equal energy here. So I think focusing on your confidence and reciprocity this month is going to be key. We do have the Lovers. That's fantastic. Showing up, saying I love you, and maybe putting it in it's like walk the walk and talk the talk here as well. Some of you may also be starting a family. We'll talk more about that as I break it down. All right, we're going to look at 3 categories here. We're going to focus on those of you that are currently in a relationship. Pretty good card. Those of you that are single and looking. And those of you that are happily single. If you're currently in a relationship, the High Priestess is fantastic. This represents being on the same page at the same time. This also shows what we're looking at here. So King of Wands, Queen of Wands, really able to do anything that they put their minds to. There is also the ability to anticipate what the other partner wants or doesn't want. So act on that. That's going to help out. Are there challenges? Of course there are. Some of the challenges here basically include that these are 2 very headstrong cards. So you may be more similar than you think. And finding a way to kind of meet in the middle when you're disagreeing could be challenging when that happens. One partner may be slow to make a decision or may not be kind of showing up as much as you'd like. So communication is the missing piece. We really don't have a lot of swords here. So speak up, speak often. I do like that there is the Lovers. It does feel like you can resolve things. There could be some hurt feelings or a feeling of like just not doing equal parts. So asking your partner, what can I help you with today? How are you feeling? What's going on? Checking in is going to help. And that will hopefully help you address whatever might be challenged with the Five of Pentacles. I don't necessarily think that it has to do with the relationship itself. It could be a pre-existing thing. Again, just insecurities and things like that. So wherever you can validate this month, that would be very good. And again, if there's something you said you were going to do it. The Hanged Man is a procrastinator. So let's avoid arguments by just getting ahead of that. There could be a new child or pregnancy if that's what you want. Even if you don't want it, be mindful of that. There could also be a new job, something to celebrate. And overall, I do feel like finances are going in the right direction, even if there's been challenges. So work together. It's all about teamwork. King and Queen of Wands, the Lovers, And then this basically putting it all to practice here with the Eight of Pentacles. Moving on to those that are seeking love this month. The Seven of Pentacles says, yes, you can find it, but what you want to make sure is that you've done all the internal healing first. We saw a little bit of the potential inner child healing coming through in the Five of Pentacles. I think the important thing here is to make sure that whatever it is from the past, that you're okay. And you are okay because you did get the Six of Cups. Again, that is that inner child feeling healed, hopefully, and ready to step into whatever's new, whatever's coming forth. Financially and also just from a health perspective, Seven of Pentacles can also show that there are some areas of opportunity. You want to make sure that those parts of your life are fully put together before you pull someone else into the mix. Otherwise, things can get a little complicated, and we don't want that to happen. All right, so a couple of good notes here. If you are looking for love, Six of Cups represents a deep soul connection. Eight of Cups represents someone coming back from the past. The past energy is the Knight of Pentacles. It looks like second time's a charm based on what I'm seeing, unless there's something in your own life that kind of separates you from that. You could try to reconnect with somebody. What I do think is important, though, for you, again, is that you've done the healing and that they've done the healing. I would pause, just like take gentle baby steps towards that if you're going to go back to someone from the past. There are new energies that want to come through, and I actually think the new energies are an upgrade. Queen of Wands is higher in suit than this, so this is someone that's more mature, and she's connecting with that Hermit energy over there. You've done the work, she's done the work, you guys are on even footing. It feels like if you want to find love, it could get serious quickly. There may also be a child attached to the partner, or they really want to have a child, so make sure that you have those conversations and decide what makes sense for you. Finally, moving to those that are single and happy, good for you. You got the Ace of Cups. You are single and happy. You can do anything that you want to do with that energy. Ace of Cups is highly receptive, highly communicative. It's also really attractive, and that is why you're getting the Lovers coming through in the near future, and the Sun. This is charisma, this is passion, this is something coming out of that. So single and happy, you could basically use your time and energy to create significant growth and movement in personal development and work. You could make some new friendships. You might even find love, even though you're not looking for it. Detachment is one of the bigger sort of attractive elements in the universe. So, even though you're not looking, or especially because you're not looking, there may be someone new. A new friend, new colleague, new love interest. All right, let's move on to Destiny. It's a great card, I have to say. You have the Wheel of Fortune coming through. Changes, folks. Changes in cycles. So, we did have that Five of Pentacles earlier, and it really does feel like it's from the past. This is a time where you are starting to change, grow, and expand. And over the course of this next year, the next 10 weeks, the next 10 days, the next 10 months, you could start to see some of these things transpire. What I love about this Wheel of Fortune is, it looks like a dream catcher, but I want you to continue to go after your dreams. I want you to really trust in the worth that came through in no short way in the cards. Possibilities is an Ace. Deep Past is a Knight of Pentacles. Your ability to partner up this month brings in a like-minded individual here, King and Queen of Wands. Just take it a step at a time, but no matter how you look at things this month, it's a very good turn for you, Taurus. And I feel like there's a couple of small adjustments here or there. Patience, health, and self-confidence, and not burning yourself out. But those are things you can manage with proper care and time. All right, let's move on to the final card for today. This is your chance to ask one last question, anything that might be on your mind that I haven't had a chance to answer, and let's see what the cards have to say. All right. This is fantastic. We have 3 aces that came through. It's a yes. It's an upright Ace of Wands, yes. So follow your passion and take it to the next level. I think of the Ace of Wands as a magic wand, so the magician would use it. It can also be like a relay racer where you're done with something and you hand it off to the next person. That connects nicely with the birthing energy of the sun. It's basically just you deciding that I'm ready. So are you ready? That's the question. If you're ready, the sky's the limit. If you're not, then I'm not sure what it's going to take to get you there, but I'm encouraging you to go for it. This is also a great time to start something like painting, writing, any sort of endeavor where there's creativity or passion, but it can be anything new. There could also be a new opportunity coming forth for you. By and large, a pretty positive spread, lots of movement, lots of growth. And so please keep me posted in the comments and let me know how the month sort of works out for you. Okay, everyone? Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps me as well. You can also give me a follow on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. I'm also on Blue Sky. It's nicholasashbaugh.com there. And that's also where you can go for my official links and information. If you'd like to show some love and support, you can do it through super stickers, super chat, and super likes. A quick reminder that I don't give private readings, nor do I use direct messages. So please look out for anybody that does that, block and report. And that, my friends, is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out the new podcast. It's on my main channel page under the podcast tab. It's also featured pretty easily there and on my website, so it'll be hard to miss. Let me bring Apollo up and then we'll close for today. Here's Apollo, safe and sound. He was napping a little bit, but I know some of you guys want to see him from time to time, so here he is. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Have a great month ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.